The current mental health issue, I would say, is a crisis. We're at a crisis level. For one, certainly COVID and quarantine has prompted so many more mental health issues and anxiety and fear. I mean, we're very much a fear-based and fear-driven society on so many levels, whether it is because of COVID, because of political disrest. I mean, there's just so much tension.
You know, it's one of those things that everyone's like, oh my God, I'm anxious about something, or there's a stressor in their life that kind of prompts them to be anxious. For me, I've had this like constant nagging my entire life of anxiety. I noticed it first, like the first time I can really like think about it is when I was 6. And my mom was like 5 minutes late than she usually was. And I just remember having like utter terror because I didn't know where she was. And I ran down the driveway and I was bawling and I like ran down the street and like my dad was running after me because I legitimately thought she was dead. Like I just had this like gnawing sensation in my core that like there was something wrong. It was like that for everything. Like I noticed it at school, especially when I was a kid, that like I just didn't really fit in that well because I don't know, I felt like I was weird, and I felt like I overcompensated for everything, and I was so anxious to even speak in class or speak up, where people literally thought I had like a speech delay. Like they didn't know that they thought I literally couldn't talk because I wouldn't speak up in class because I was so anxious to be taunted and stuff. So it really started early on, and it came into like one of those things that I just got used to. Like, oh my gosh, this anxiety has taken over my life, but it's become an everyday thing, so whatever, you know, but it's always been there.
How many times a week you go?
Usually 5,
I'll be honest.
5 to 6. I really focus more on just like, yeah, I mean like results are nice, but just how I feel. I used to solely focus on how I like looked, and that really honestly heightened my anxiety more than anything, and made me feel really bad. And now I focus on how I feel rather than look. Like my overall just health has become way more important to me. Mental health, physical health, rather than, oh my God, I have to be this perfect size. So once I've realized that, it's really become one of my main, you know, I don't know, avenues of distressing.
At this point in my career, I would say no, I don't think that we have adequate access to mental health care. I think there are lots of, first of all, there's a shortage. Like I said, we have such a need right now. I currently can't I can't accept new patients simply because if you're in crisis and you call me, you don't want to schedule an appointment in July or August. So we have a huge shortage for clinical care. Some of the things I think that I guess we need to improve the access would be working with some of the insurance companies. Certainly that's a hot topic for clinicians, but insurance companies have been a lot more flexible with COVID and telehealth and allowing telehealth. But for a long period of time, telehealth was not reimbursed by insurance. So we were trying to reach people in their homes who needed to stay in place, and they weren't able to afford the services, and insurance finally caught up. So we're having a little more reimbursement with telehealth. But insurance dictates a lot of my job. So I would say financially and just in terms of how that is managed with some of the third-party payers is prohibitive.
Understanding my self-anxiety and understanding that it's everywhere, but working with a very stressful industry. You know, I'm an internal healthcare worker. You know, I essentially am, you know, working with clients and getting staff out there, and also working with hospitals trying to find staff for those clients so they can have continued care at home, while working with, you know, home health aides, caregivers, making sure that, you know, they're okay and they're placed at the right place. So it's a lot of different pull and push in both directions, you know, and I'm the middle man, as well as like kind of a superior to other managers that are learning the ropes. So it's a lot. But I guess like it's kind of helped me understand people a little bit more. Like, when you get a difficult client and they're frustrated that they don't have staff, you know, people who don't really get stressed, or everyone gets stressed, but don't have like debilitating anxiety, don't really understand why they are so stressed out. And it's like, if you really just get to talking to them and getting to know them, you understand.
Anxiety is a survival skill. If I pick up something and throw it at your head, you're gonna duck. You know, your frontal lobe is gonna be chemically hijacked. You're not gonna sit and think, wow, really, is that gonna come at my head? No, you're gonna duck, you're gonna react, and you're gonna react fast. Then you're gonna come around and go, okay, it's okay, she was kidding, whatever. Well, I think now we are at kind of a constant state of waiting to duck, emotionally, socially, and behaviorally. You know, we don't have to walk, we live in a society, we're very fortunate, very blessed to live in the Midwest, where we're relatively safe walking out our front door. Our needs are generally met. We don't have to have that radar of fear. I think recognizing that many people don't have that ability to put the radar down a little bit, recognizing it's okay for people not to be okay. And then even, you know, for some of the very healthy functioning people that I work with are just super uncomfortable with anxiety and depression. And I can't, you know, as a psychologist, I can't cure or heal depression, just like a doctor doesn't cure or heal a broken arm. But we put supports in place until that injury does start to heal. So my perspective on this is, you know, recognizing that come and get help when you need it.
You know, I've been on medication for about a year now, and am I reliant on it? I don't know, who knows? Like, you know, there's all those studies. You can go into a huge debate about whether medication makes you dependent or not. That's not what we're talking about. But did it help? Absolutely. Right away, like within a week of taking it, I take Zoloft, and I take the highest dosage. It's helped me. And I also am prescribed Klonopin because I had frequent panic attacks. And, you know, I will say that, like, my anxiety is still always there. Like, medication isn't the end-all be-all. It helps. It's there to help, but it's not the only thing that will, like, anxiety can't be cured. You know, like, it's gonna be there. It's part of who I am, but realizing that and understanding that has really helped me come to terms with my anxiety. You know, realizing that medication was probably a good option for me, realizing what I needed to do on a day-to-day basis to help my anxiety, counseling, meditation, working out, that's what's really kind of helped me and made it less debilitating. And now panic attacks are few and far between. Once a month, if that, when I used to get them every day, like literally every day. A year or two ago, I would get them every day, and I would pass out from them. It was so bad. But now I feel like I'm actually living my life, and it's due to a balanced, you know, of medications, of of just self-help and self-care.